Morning, good evening, or good afternoon, whenever you are watching this movie review of Iron Man 3. Now, Iron Man 3 came out last week. I saw it during the opening weekend with my family. You know, kind of a Mother's Day slash family outing. And before I give my score of it, I want to go over a few things. First, let's talk about Killian. Now, anyone who's already seen the movie, you already know what happens. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. Stop watching this, because I am going to do a little bit of spoilers. So, spoiler warning ahead of time. Number one is Killian. Now, this character first appeared in Iron Man Volume 4, Number 1 in January 2005. So he's recently new to the Iron Man universe. But here's the thing. In the comic book world, why yes, he did develop the extremis virus alongside Maya Hansen. As anyone knows who's already seen the movie, they keep that part correct. But here's the difference. In comic books, he steals a sample of the virus and sells it to domestic terrorists, but unable to cope with the guilt, he confesses in a note and kills himself. However, Iron Man later discovers that Maya had a hand in selling extremists to the domestic terrorists. So, yeah, he's pretty much not that well. As the villain in the comic books. He's pretty much just a good guy who does stupid shit and kills himself. So yeah. This brings me to the next person, Maya Hansen. She's more in the comic book thing just because of the fact that she is the one who created it. Well, pretty much developed it along with Cream, but is more known for it in the comic books. Now, this gets me to the third, before we even get to the Mandarin, this gets me to the third part, the extreme virus. It's got its good points, but it's also bad. I mean, yeah, it can regenerate body parts, but if the skin does not accept it, you know, so it is what it is on that. But it's not bad, not great. I particularly didn't like that particular part of the comic book, but again, that's me. This gets us to Mandarin. Now, comic book fans know who he is, and I can tell you this right now. I'm sure a lot of the comic book fans were not too pleased with how the Mandarin came out in this. And I'm not either. Okay? Because when I think of Mandarin, I think of all those little rings he has on his hands. Yeah, he's been in the cartoons as well a few other times. He was actually the major foe of Iron Man and the Marvel superheroes. He was also in the animated series Iron Man. you know. And he's been in the films. Of course, you have the direct-to-video animated movie, The Invincible Iron Man. And he's also been in the video games. Yep. Now, anyone who grew up watching the cartoons knows, depending on which era, you know that he was green, believe it or not. Anyone who's grew up in the comic books knows he's different. Now, I'm going to get to the rings for a minute. Okay, he uses rings as his powers. He's got Ice Blast, Meteor Mental Infuser, which pretty much drains, I want to say, the brain power or something. I'm not really too sure on that one. Electric Blast, self-explanatory. Flame Blast, Black Light, aka it turns shit dark. A beam that destroys all bonds between atoms and nucleus of the object it strikes. Vortex Beam, Impact Beam, and Matter Regenerator. And of course, White Light, which is pretty much Flash Bomb in my humble opinion. This gets us to the Mandarin in the movie. The Mandarin in this, it doesn't feel like him, okay? He does. Okay, because I'm going to be honest. Okay? The rings, okay? You have him on, you think he's the Mandarin. Okay, he should be. But no. Because it is revealed during the movie, spoiler warning. This is the fun part. It's revealed that the persona of the Mandarin is a fictional character invented by Killian to match the latter's legal activities. So pretty much the Mandarin in this is a fucking joke, okay? You give him the rings and he doesn't do shit. That was my big problem with it, okay? We later come find out Killian proclaims himself to be the true Mandarin. Which again, problem is, yes, he did use the extreme virus, but he was mostly known for using the rings. You know. And in the comic books, he lived by a very strict code of honor. You know, so Mandarin, yes, he was a villain. He knew various martial arts and everything. He had an honor code. And depending on which version of the comic books you read, depending on which way you grew up with him. Now, this gets me to the movie in general. Why it is good. But I just had trouble with the Mandarin, with this. Granted, I'll give them credit, they kind of surprised everybody. Granted, I think everyone could kind of figure out what was going to happen after the first few minutes, because if you read the comic book, yeah, you were probably pissed the fuck off. And I'm going to be honest, yeah, I was pissed the fuck off. Because I grew up on the comic books, I grew up doing the 90s cartoon show, so yeah, I was pissed about it. But I digest. Now, of course, to the end, after the post-credits, Stark wakes up talking to, apparently I thought it was some people thought Dr. Fate, I thought it was Dr. Strange. No, it's Bruce fucking Banner. Which, okay, I don't know why that part was fucking in there. I really don't. Now, of course, the movie is in 3D. Yay! Bully. Now, Now after the post-credit scenes, we do see a line that says Tony Stark will return. Well, no shit. We know he's got the second Avengers film, and there will most likely be an Iron Man 4. Now, of course, the question is, will Robert Downey Jr. be in it? I would most say likely yes. So, yippee. I know I brain fart. I apologize. I admit that I had a brain fart. But this gets me to my score of the movie. If you grew up reading the comic books or watching the cartoon show, I'm going to be honest, you will not like it. I will guarantee that, because it just does not remind me of what I would have thought of the Thing, okay? But again, my opinion. If you don't read the comic books or watch the cartoon show from the 90s, you will enjoy it. But it's one of those things, depending on how you grew up, if you know the comic books or the cartoon show, you're going to hate it. If you didn't know the comic books or cartoon show, you will love it. So, I'm going to give it a score of 3 out of 5 for the ones who grew up on the comic books or the cartoon show. That's my opinion on it. Now, if you didn't grow up on it, it's a 4 out of 5. It's really hard to say. I mean, because, like I said, I grew up on the comic books. I grew up on the cartoon shows. To me, to be honest, if you're going to go see it, you will enjoy it, but you might be saying, was it worth the money? In my case, let's see, I saw it on a Sunday. It was decent. I mean, I'm kind of, with the money and everything, granted, yeah, but still, there were some parts that I just didn't like, and that was just from the comic book nerd of me on that side. So, like I said, comic book or cartoon growing up watch, you're going to give it a 3. If you don't read the comic books, or didn't watch the cartoon show, 4 out of 5. But I'm going to stick with the 3, because that's how I roll. Like I said, I watched the cartoon and I read the comic books. Now, let me know what you think if you saw Iron Man 3. Did you enjoy it, or did you think it was not that great? Let me know what you think. And until I see you next time, this is the DOUG signing out.